welcome to the Real Estate Tax Tips channel. My name is Cherry Chan, a chartered professional accountant located in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And I'm on a mission to become the Google map for hardworking Canadians seeking financial freedom. Today, I have a super special guest for all of us. I have someone that actually could be busier than me. There aren't a lot of people out there that are busier than me and do way more than me. And Lena is one of them. She has a list of positions that I have to spend the next 2 hours to read off. But probably next 15 minutes to read off. She's current president of Canadian Women Real Estate Association, founder of an association that's specifically for women called Stilettos and Hammers. And she also runs and being the VP of operation of this property management company that manages over 160 units. And she's a mom, a wife, and she also owns other businesses. So, well, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming
Absolutely.
on. Yes. So, how do you get here? As in, like, all these lists of titles and operations and businesses.
Oh, goodness. I have a husband who just gets bored easily, I suppose is what you could say. But jokes aside, I'm a first-generation immigrant. I was born in Iran in the 80s. So anybody who's familiar with the situation there, it was right after the revolution, right in the middle of a war. So needless to say, not the best environment to raise a family. So my parents immigrated here to Canada. They came alone. We had no family here. So, you know, we settled out in Scarborough, and it was a different environment where I grew up. I didn't know that it was unusual until I got out of it. But fast forward, you know, we did the whole school thing, the high school thing, went off to university. I was going to be, you know, studying kinesiology. I was going to be a sports injury therapist. I was managing a fitness club at the time, and this young gentleman walks into my gym and looking for a membership, and lo and behold, he has this brilliant idea that he's going to become the next Donald Trump.
He's on his way.
Sure. Who wants to be Donald Trump, I guess, would be my first question. It seems a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any better. I was 21 years old, and he asked me if I would be willing to help him with the sales aspect of this business of his, and I said yes. Fast forward 20 years later, and a 7-year-old, and, you know, 6 businesses, and here we are.
Crazy.
A little bit, but it's fun. We enjoy it. We have a good time.
So, which part should we start first? We can start with your real estate investment journey first.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, this young man who walked into my gym in 2004 was on a mission, right? He wanted to buy real estate. So we started going around to like all these cities I'd never heard of because I grew up in the bubble that is Toronto.
Yep.
So we went to like Welland and all these like cute little towns that I'd never heard of. So great adventure for me. And we would look at, you know, multifamily properties that smelt really bad, and they were, oh God, they were horrible. I'd never seen anything like it. And we actually ended up in Eastern Ontario, where the numbers made sense because we were both young. He had been recently, you know, laid off from his engineering job. So, you know, money wasn't exactly there, and the numbers in Cornwall made sense. So we started off buying a couple of duplexes and a triplex, and we did this all in like 6 months because it was really exciting. And they were all distressed, all of them. It was just a disaster. So we had to restabilize them, and we had no idea what we were doing. We took some courses. We thought we were equipped. We had just enough information to be very dangerous.
Yep.
And we figured it out. So the first 4 years were very painful. We almost went bankrupt. We had an amazing team. Oh yeah, like when you're buying a whole bunch of distressed property and nobody's paying rent or the units are vacant and you have major renovations and surprises behind walls, it becomes very expensive. So we had a really great mortgage agent we worked with, and she managed to, you know, save us by getting a deal refinanced in the midst of construction that wasn't generally really heard of, and it gave us the cash we needed to finish. And we developed processes, we developed systems, and we realized this was really a cookie cutter business if you stuck to what you're good at. Instead of trying to do everything, We focused on multifamily properties. We focused 6 units, maximum 20, because it's just too much. I find 6 to 12 really sweet. And that's just what we did. We looked for the same types of issues in terms of the distress. We looked for the same type of tenant profiles. And it became very rhythmic, right? So it was just kind of copy, rinse, repeat. And we expanded. The property management company kind of came from that. It was supposed to kind of be a thing where we dealt only with our own portfolio, and I would have tenants who would leave my units and go into self-managed units, and their landlords would end up needing help, and they would tell them to call me, and here we are today. We went from Eastern Ontario all the way out to like the entire GTA, up to, Niagara Falls, Hamilton, Newmarket, Brantford, you name it. We have a satellite, team in each of these locations, and it's been fun.
I wouldn't call it fun, but
it's my kind of crazy.
Yes.
I don't recommend it for everybody, but I enjoy it. I'm the personality type that likes the unpredictable.
I can sense that. Like, I feel like you have some sort of spider sense that you can sense people who are drug dealers in your property.
Yes. And I think part of it has to do with the environment that I grew up in. So I was, in an environment where this was very common. Drug dealers, gang affiliated individuals, and just as a general whole, there was a lot of people with addictions and things like that. So growing up with that at a young age, you're taught how to see certain signs in order to keep yourself safe. As a child, you don't know this is what you're being taught. But as you grow up with a heightened sense of awareness, I think is what one of my mom friends once told me. She's like, this is hyper awareness, and it's generally from trauma. And I thought, nah, it's okay. So it helps. It definitely helps me in what it is that I'm doing in my life. I unfortunately don't think my daughter will have the same kind of gifts per se, but she's got gifts in a different way.
Exactly.
But yeah, it helps a lot. Like, I can see somebody and I can see if, there's certain signs that maybe they're affiliated, or maybe they're not, or maybe, they're addicted, or maybe they're not, or they're selling, and it helps. It helps a lot to kind of weed those people out of my units.
That's amazing. And you also do all the screening yourself.
Yes. I've tried to. We basically outsourced the rest of it, but the screening portion of it, the really deep digging PI stuff that gets done, I generally find when it's outsourced, people don't generally have the same time or the same desire to commitment. And in today's market, where you've got so many fraudulent documents coming in and things like that, I find it so much more important to ensure that the person who is doing your screening isn't just boom, 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 let's get this done and finished. So I do all the screening. It doesn't matter where the applications are coming from. Ottawa, Niagara Falls, doesn't matter. They all come to me.
Ottawa too. You do Ottawa.
Oh yeah, Ottawa, Cornwall, the entire Ottawa Valley. Our entire portfolio is out that way. Right, so that's where we started, and then we started to expand, because my husband and I are both from the GTA. I grew up in Toronto, and our families are here, so we knew naturally this was going to be where we would come back, and we brought the companies with us and kept going.
That's crazy. So what got you started Stilettos and Hammers? So first of all, share with our audience what it does first.
So Stilettos and Hammers is like my baby. It's the one thing that I created from the ground up versus something my husband had, like this brilliant light bulb moment. And it was really because, so as a woman in this industry, and I'm talking, let's say 20 years ago when I first started, people didn't take me seriously. I was also young, which didn't help. I was inexperienced, which didn't help, but gaining that experience and the knowledge required being able to ask questions and do things. And the advice that I was getting was like, oh, sweetie, you want to be taken seriously? Maybe you should tie your hair back, don't wear it down. Maybe you should wear some pants instead of a dress. And I thought, excuse me.
No way.
I'm not kidding. So we hired like coaches to help us take our business to the next level. And one of our coaches told me, he goes, the first thing you need to do is stop wearing dresses, tie your hair back, and stop smiling so much. And I thought, okay. I'm not special. There's nothing, super special about me. So if people are talking to me like this, they must be talking to a whole bunch of other women out there like this. So you know what? I'm going to create a space where we can have our own discussions and we can wear our hair down and we can wear dresses and we can laugh all we want. So Stilettos and Hammers was created. And it's been wonderful. I mean, when we first started back in Ottawa, our meetings were like 50, 60 women every single month. And then we expanded to Toronto, Mississauga, Northern GTA, and we would, get this consistent group of women. And it's always new as well as existing members who would come. I had a baby. I didn't know how hard that would be. So I was like, I can take a month off. It'll be business as usual.
That's how I thought too. Then it wasn't.
No. And my husband has recordings of the meetings where I announced that we were expecting to my membership. And they were like, what's going to happen? And I said exactly that. And you can hear the laughter.
Yeah.
Like everybody in that room was laughing at me. So I took about a year off because of Aria. I couldn't manage it. And then we had COVID.
Yep. Oh, no.
And my dad got sick in the middle and he passed away. So I mean, there was just like this non-stop back-to-back kind of stuff, but we're back now. And it's amazing still. We're still getting an unbelievable group of women who come out every single month, new people, and it's now not just focused on real estate. We're working with women as a whole who are looking to develop their entrepreneurial skills. Maybe they want to start a business. Maybe they want to expand an existing business. And it's really just it's a hub, right? We're trying to create a community. We want to encourage collaboration. We want to, encourage and foster connections that everybody can help one another grow. And, we have a lot of men who support us now too, so it helps. The environment's a little different now, so
that's awesome.
They're willing to accept the energy that comes with long hair and, skirts.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that coach.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably made him uncomfortable, didn't know how to handle it. It's all good.
Yeah, okay, that's really cool. And then so we cover that, and then now you just recently got into this position called the president of Canadian Women Real Estate Association.
Yes.
Yes.
So CREWA.
Yes.
I'm honored actually to have been asked to be their president. It's also a women's association. This is not for profit. And it's designed to create an environment where women in real estate can come out, meet one another, but also promote what it is that they have and what it is that they do. So other groups, women's groups, other, types of professionals in the industry where sometimes it seems a little bit like, a faux pas to come and do that at another group's meeting. Here it's encouraged.
Yeah.
It's education based, so it's always, you want to have meetings that are full of tangible ideas and education that our members can then take and go and do something with. There is some networking in it, but it really is geared towards connecting, promoting, and educating.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I found that these, I spoke at the CREWA event, I think a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, I was looking forward to come to the Mississauga event, and unfortunately I would be away, but I would love to, I truly enjoyed the connection and the people there. They
loved you. They loved the information. They loved that you showed them all the things that they didn't know that in this business they need to know because, they're leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
And I think they had a lot of light bulb moments of I'm all this money that I could not be spending and all this money that I could be saving. And it was huge. So we were very, very grateful to have you there with us as well. And we hope to have you back and hope to have you at events.
And, something to bring it out of other women. Even though I'm pretty sure you can relate to, I always call myself in my little hole. I wasn't really out there to really necessarily promote. Maybe I do it for a marketing purpose. I wasn't really thinking, hey, there's another layer of what we're doing. And when you're a successful businesswoman out there, other girls are looking at you as well, right?
And you don't realize.
Yeah, you don't realize that. And that's...
It's after this whole kind of COVID hiatus, that became very apparent because I'm also not very big on self-promotion, social media, things like this. I mean, you have to do it. I've come to realize that. But I wasn't into it, and I went actually to a CREWA event. And one of the women that I've known probably for like 10 years in this business saw me there, and she was like, "Oh my God, Lena, you're still here." I'm like, "Of course I'm here. What do you mean? I don't see you on socials." I thought, "What do you mean? I used to love watching you and this and that." And I thought, "Oh wow, people are actually paying attention."
Yeah.
And my thought was, "Oh, you know, I don't have a lot of people following me. Like, who's really paying attention?" And then when we started promoting again and getting out there, I got all kinds of messages again that were like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're back. We've missed you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Adds a little bit of stress, right? To an already busy lifestyle. It's like, I need content.
I think the inner, I think the bigger meaning to what we do is really to show, obviously to me, is to show my my daughter that she could do whatever she wants.
Yes.
But at the same time, there are other people that could relate to like your upbringing, your background.
Absolutely.
Could be, you know, a little kid, a little girl who grew up in a not so nice neighborhood in Toronto, it's like really doing well. Or it could be someone from Iran, also escaped from there. And once they hear your story, you're inspiring. And your story is amazing. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope that, you know, one person realizes you don't have to come from money. You don't have to you don't have to have all of those, you know, cushions behind you and supports, and you can still do it if you want it. Like, there's nothing in this world you can't do as long as you're willing to
Absolutely.
push.
Yeah.
That's all that it is.
Yeah, no, well, I'm very grateful to be able to talk to you today and share the mission of Stilettos and Hammers, and also CREWA as well. The event is coming up.
Yes,
Yes,
October 13th.
October 13th, their event is coming up. If you are interested in coming and joining, make sure you come out, and it's in a very central location. Last time we were also at your co-working space.
Yes, at Flex Space.
Yeah, Flex Space, co-working space. How's that
Yes.
coming up? How's that business coming along?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Co-working space?
Honestly, and you would think it's not, but it's been great. So we're kind of co-working with a twist, right? We're not just straight co-working. And we're also very casual and relaxed. So what you'll find is a lot of people in the tech industry and stuff, they come into our space because it's a very relaxed, laid back. They don't have to worry about being dressed. They can run around in flip-flops. But at Flex Space, we also offer services to help entrepreneurs get their administration in.
Yeah.
So the basics of just getting yourselves organized with online filing systems, things like that. We've got bookkeepers that we can assist with, like by-the-minute billing for people who need help with their books. Just, you know, an address that you can use to put up a Google My Business listing that isn't part of a shared space that's going to get flagged. So we have a lot of solutions that we've created based on the challenges that we had as entrepreneurs, especially when, you know, you're starting out and money's tight, you're not earning a lot.
Yep.
And then we have a lot of solutions for investors and landlords who are self-managing, right? Because I am a landlord, I am a property manager, I know what we need to do to kind of put that line between tenant and owner relationship where it can always stay professional and you take that kind of extra out of it. And we've got self-management options that are available through the space. We've got, so you can't afford, let's say, to pay me full-time, but you need to have me in your pocket kind of situation. So in this situation, we'll give you access to the online portals that we use to manage our business, where you'll manage your portfolio. But if, let's say, you're going on vacation, we can jump in because you're already in our system. So if there's work orders, if there's tenant questions, concerns, we jump in and we respond seamlessly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then you have access to our trade. So if you're in Hamilton, let's say, we would, you know, assign plumbers and electricians and HVAC companies and, you know, remediation services, and you have all of them in there. So now you're not looking for a team, like they're already there and they're vetted. It's like this little box that you're handed, and it's like, okay, here you go. And then your tenants to go in and make their requests and stuff have to go through our system. So they believe now that they have a professionally managed property. There's a little bit of professionalism, a little bit of, there's a different expectation when a tenant realizes they're dealing with a third party. They behave much better. And when they have to write it down, in a portal that can never be deleted by them. They're much more careful in how it is that they address you. So the abuse aspect of things definitely goes down quite a bit.
Wow, that's interesting perspective. So how do people get to you?
The easiest way would be probably to email me, Lena, my first name, so Lena, at nvpm.ca, so Nancy Victor Peter Mary.ca. That's probably the easiest way.
Yep.
Email me and then we can go from there.
So, okay, so you encourage everyone to just email you, or is there an website that they can visit with your
absolutely.
PM company?
So you can visit stilettosandhammers.com if you want to come to one of our events. You can also visit nvpropertymanagement.ca if you're looking for management solutions and services. And you can also visit flexspaceinc.ca if you wanted to look at the self-management and all that other fun jazz that comes with like running your own business on your own without being on your own.
This sounds so much like we need a business card of all your like titles and everything.
My husband's like, QR code. You just need a QR code.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
I need that QR code for our audience.
Hey, I can get it for you. That's no problem. We have them. They're there.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll put that in the screen, and then so people can scan it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Lena.
Thank you.
This has been amazing.
Thank you.
It's always nice to chat with someone who's busier than me, so then I can always learn from how other people manage their businesses and also time management too, right?
Systems and calendars.
Yeah.
That's what my husband would tell you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.